Okay, my bottled water. Got a Dynor, got my vape. God, somehow it's fucking hot out here. God damn it, man. I really fucking hate the swamp. How you guys doing? Hey, hello. Good evening, good afternoon. Yeah, I just want to go flex too. Honestly, somewhere where there's air conditioning though. That's where I want to go flex. I'm doing okay, yeah. I followed my rules for no hangover, and I have no hangover, which is nice. Dank Dungeons and Drunken Dragons was last night. All right, make sure you get the good gold teeth though, because the ones that you order online they send you like a tray that you put clay in and you bite it and you send it back to them. Those are dog shit. You got to go actually. The best place to get grills is apparently in Toronto at a place called Toronto Grills. So we got to go to Canada to get our gold teeth. I don't care about the gold around the neck. I'll wear whatever kind of Gumby gold you got, but them gold teeth, they got to be worked out. Was it a failure or a success? From the standpoint of a D&D campaign, it was a raucous success. Everybody had a great time. The drinking mini game that I wove in worked perfectly, so that like by the end of the campaign, everybody was wasted. But, you know, people just steadily got drunker as they moved further and further along the campaign. Everybody had a great time. There was some great role playing and some fun moments, and it turned out good. My worry for it is that everybody involved was wasted, and the recording equipment, you know, like, I know for a fact that one of the camera angles that we were shooting ourselves from, that camera died about 3/4 of the way through, so we'll lose that angle at some point. I'm just hoping that there's a good audio file for the whole thing. That's really the most important thing. I mean, look, dude, all of us are shit wasted, and it ended up being 3.5 hours long about. That's including breaks and shit, so we'll have to cut those out, because we took a couple of little, like, everybody get up and pee, grab something to eat if you want. 70 people watching and only 3 thumbs up. Yeah, dude, people are withholding the thumbs up nowadays. There's a thumbs up war going on the channel, you know, where you know, people don't like a decision that you've made, so the great thumbs downing begins. It's okay. I don't care about the thumbs, man. People can thumbs up or down at their own leisure. I've never thumbed up any videos ever. I very rarely do it myself, so I can't really ask people to do it, you know. Bite your thumb at me, sir? Some of your favorite board games growing up? I don't like board games at all, so I don't have any favorites. I hate them all. Drink hot sauce out of the bottle. Okay, I'll do that. Took a job interview on an hour's notice to see if a chef will take me as an apprentice. Need immediate advice. You need advice? I don't know, dude. If you got a you know, a job interview, and it's a last minute kind of thing too, there's a really good chance that you get hired. Just go in there and do your best. I don't know. Go in there and try and seem like somebody wants to work with. Don't be annoying. Don't be late. Cook good food. You win. Esborn Hogslayer, warrior from the frozen north. Cool. How are you? I'm Paul's ego. Neckbeard from the sweaty south. It's a pleasure to be introduced to you. Do you like / eat duck? No, I've never had duck. I don't think. If I've ever had duck, I can't remember eating it. So I don't think I've ever had duck. Eye contact is key. Yeah, eye contact is important. Shaking a good firm handshake is important. The ability to carry on a non-stilted conversation is important. People like job interviews, especially when you're going to be working really closely with somebody, are often about just finding out, hey, do I want to see this fucking person's face and hear their stupid ass voice every day? So it's your job to seem like a person that the answer to that would be like, yeah, I guess I wouldn't mind that. I guess I wouldn't mind seeing this person. He was on time. He's a good cook. He's quick. He listens to instruction. You know what I mean? Any advice for an upcoming vlogger slash musician on YT? I hate to give this advice, but find something else to do. That's really the advice. Like, I don't know, man. Getting started on YouTube right at this time, when YouTube is, in my opinion, in decline as a platform to present that kind of stuff, that's an uphill battle, man. What's the deep fat fried research assistant job opening? When is it? If there ever is such a job opening, I'll let you guys know about it. Murder them dreams, plural. I mean, I'm not trying to murder anybody's dreams, and I'm not saying don't try. I'm just saying you have an uphill battle ahead of you if you're, trying to break out on YouTube now, because, like I said, YouTube isn't the platform it used to be. It's a different place with different expectations, and it's a whole different game. I stream my farts and poopies. Hey, look at you, Zio. One of these days you'll get a viewer, Zio, for the farts and poopies stream. Maybe it'll be me. One of these days, though, you'll see that 0 turn into a 1 as you're streaming your farts and poopies, and you'll know it's probably me. It's probably me checking out your stream. You know what I mean? The farts and poopies stream. You know who else could do a stream like that? Dinor. Isn't that right? You could do a stream like that, huh? You could do a farts and poopies stream. You like to fart sometimes. I smell them. And you like to poopy. Ain't that right? You like to poopy. What a Dinor. Your beard looks extra nice today. Well, thank you. It smells really good. I wish I could give you guys a sniff. It smells like the woods in my beard, It smells like fresh tree sap and freshly tilled earth and saplings, green foliage. That's what it smells like all up in here. Is your hair very sweaty under the hat? No, it doesn't look like it is. Looks like it's rather the opposite so far. It'll probably be before I'm done with this show, though. The hair is coming. It's getting long. You saw it just there, man. It's getting there. Got some baby robins hiding up in there. I wish I did. That'd be cool. Have some birds like Peter Griffin had. Beep, 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 beep. How long do you want to grow your hair? I don't know. Longer than it is now. So I'll grow it until I don't feel that way. Be like, okay, now it's long enough. I don't know. I don't think I want it like obscenely, absurdly long. But I don't know. We'll see. Prospector Paul. Is that what I look like? I look like a gold prospector. How miserable would you feel if you had to work at Starbucks again for a month? Probably not at all. Starbucks, once you understand how to make the drinks and shit, is a pretty simple job. You know what your expectations are. It's easy to meet them. It's not a bad job, so I wouldn't be sad at all. There's gold in these here mountains. Oh, I tell you, there's a mother lode out there, and I'm the one that's gonna find it. Like your hat pins. Well, thank you. Thank you. Almost all of them were gifts to me, except one. One of them was a gift to me. Do you like the drinks from Starbucks? Yeah, I do. I like Starbucks drinks. I like the chai tea latte there. That's my favorite. And just when I thought I was going to be boarded, then Paul comes to save the day. You're going to be boarded? Oh, what do you mean? You're going to be boarded. How would I stop that? Fields of Ard Skellig theme? What? Get out of here. You look like a fur trapper. Oh. You meant board, but that's not how you spell board either, though. That's how you spell like a plank, like a board that you use to build something. So your correction didn't even help, dude. You're bored, B-O-R-E-D, bored. Yeah, it's okay. You know what I mean? It's one of those words. English is a tough language, you know what I mean? How much do I charge for life coaching services? I mean, I do it for free. I do it for free. What do you think these are? What do you think these Highdeologies are, man? It's a life coaching service from me to you. Don't worry so much about your hair, Paul. I was a fan of yours when first Cinema for Cynics videos when you were short on top. I wasn't short on top in the first Cinema for Cynics videos, though. I had long hair. And then I shaved it. You were trying to communicate through typing. You need to at least learn how to do it properly. Whoa, Max Trillion. Max Trillion is policing. He's policing people's typing ability right now. What's your criteria for a movie when you do a commentary on it? Are there any restrictions you have to consider before you stream it? Depends on whether or not it's going to be a public or a private stream. We really stopped doing most of the public, like if you're talking about me and TJ just sitting down watching a movie and kind of ripping on it, we had to kind of stop doing that because no matter how shitty and easily available already on YouTube a video was, we found that more often than not we would pull at least one copyright violation for every time we did it. So that concept has kind of been moved to a patrons thing, because if we upload it, we do one of those, we upload it on Vimeo and just put it out privately to patrons, it doesn't pull all those things. So we really enjoy doing it. In fact, me and TJ have both expressed at different times that the Cynics versus Cinema stuff that we do is one of our favorite things to sit down and do, one of our favorite pieces of content to sit down and create. It's just fun, but the distribution of it has always been a problem from the very get-go, so. Have you ever walked out of a movie for any reason? Only one time in my life I walked out of the theater, and it was, interestingly enough, a movie that I think we discussed recently. I think it came up on a recent stream. It was Monkey Bone, which is this comedy movie that's supposed to be like a Who Framed Roger Rabbit, but edgier. It's got, cell animation and live action video blended. And I left because the movie was horrible and unwatchable. Yeah, Brendan Fraser's lead role. The movie was awful, but I've sat through a lot of awful movies. But there was a woman in the movie that was sitting, I don't know, like a row across from me. You know what I mean? Just not very far from me. She had her 2 children there, and Monkey Bone was rated R, so it had a lot of adult humor in it. Like, there were some cartoon titties, I think, in Monkey Bone at some point, and there was a lot of sexual jokes. And this woman with her little kids just sat there, like, audibly through the whole movie, going, "Oh my God, I cannot believe this. I literally, don't look at this. Oh my God, cover your eyes. I cannot believe this is a cartoon. Oh my God, I just don't believe what's going on here. Oh my God. And I gave her the shh a few times and she'd shush. But then like as soon as like, another sex joke would happen or another animated titty would flop out, she'd be like, oh my God. So I just finally, like about halfway through the movie, I just stood up and walked out. And I walked straight to the concession, like the front, where you get your tickets. And I was like, hey, I just walked out of Monkey Bone. There's a woman in there just talking, and I've shushed her a bunch of times. I don't even know what's going on in the movie. I'd like to come back and see another movie at another time if that's okay. And they didn't even argue. They were just like, here's a free ticket. Sorry that happened. I was like, no problem. And I walked. Used my free ticket. I think I used that free ticket like a year later on The Lord of the Rings. So it worked out. It's nowhere as bad as Cool World, though. I mean, both of those movies are dog shit. How does it feel to already have one of the biggest Patreons after doing a podcast for less than a year? I don't know if being in the 90s is one of the biggest yet. A top 100 Patreon, though, is definitely not something that we anticipated when we started this. We had an idea for about how fast this would grow, and the Patreon was always central to it. And we thought that around about, 6 or 8 months in, we might be able to build up a couple of hundred patrons, 200, maybe 300 people that had decided to buy in to what we were doing, and that we would be slowly but surely building that. And it didn't turn out that way. Like a really, really large percentage of the people that watch us decided to support the show. And I think that has a lot to do with people understanding that YouTube is just not a platform people make money on anymore. I mean, there's a few people that make a decent living mostly on YouTube, but for the most part, if you're a content creator, it's crowdfunding or nothing now. So the Patreon is central to what we do. You gave the community too much credit. I don't know about that. I watched The Gods Not Dead 3, Cynics versus Cinema last night. Why do you do this to me? I don't know, man. I don't know. When I went to watch Black Panther, 5 teenagers behind me kept whispering loud and audibly for like 15 minutes until I just turned around. Well, sometimes you got to do that. I mean, I've had to do that a bunch of times in theaters where there's like somebody, you give them the shush, or you just turn around very calmly and say, can you keep quiet, please? Everybody can hear what you're saying, and nobody can pay attention to the movie. Usually if you come at people like that, you don't get static. I've never gotten somebody be like, fuck you. Typically it's like, oh, sorry. It doesn't mean that they stop, but usually they do. You give them that. I agree, man. The theater is a sacred place. It's like a temple. It's closer to a temple than actual religious temples are. In my opinion, it's a place where we all come, and there are established rules and an established ritual that we all go through, and people that treat that holiest of temples like it's their living room and they just talk and yak and read their phone through it, those people have to go. They've got to go. They need to be pruned as a group of people. They need to learn that when they come to the movies, they waste their money if they're going to sit there and talk. So you got to fucking do something about them. If you just let them sit there and shit, just fucking yakety yak through the movie, they never learn. You got to teach them. Hang in there. We're pulling for you, big guy. Best witch. Pulling for me? Do I have cancer or something? Thanks for the $5, though. Babies in theaters are the worst. Dude, I'm real mean to people with babies, and here's why. I feel like we live in a society where when somebody has a baby, they've taken this "it takes a village to raise a child" kind of thought process to the way extreme. They think that because they have a baby, that I, as a human being, have to do something about that. That I have to defer to them in social situations. That I have to go out of my way when I leave without a baby to make their lives easier. I gotta help them. I've gotta put up with them. And nowhere is that sentiment more easily demonstrated than in the movie theater. It takes a dumb motherfucker to bundle up a baby and bring it to the movie theater. I am sorry if you are sitting at home buried in like monstrous piles of diapers and baby bottles and you just wanted to get out for the night. I am sorry that you feel like you don't get to go anywhere, but your child is not my child. And I paid the same amount of money for my ticket to the movie that you did. And now I'm sitting here listening to you goo goo gagaing your kid or your kid crying. You made the choice to shit out a child, which means that you have to suffer the slings and arrows of shitting out that child, which means that you need to find a babysitter if you want to go where adults go to get away from such things. Because if you bring a screaming child into a place where adults go, you're now insinuating your problem, your decision to shit out a child onto everybody else in that theater or that restaurant or whatever else it is. Keep your baby at home or find somebody to watch it if you want to go outside. Don't bring it in public, especially not to a place where adults go to chill. Don't bring your baby to a bar or a nice restaurant or the movie theater. Your dumb choice, not mine. I shouldn't have to sit and listen to the wails of your child because you decided you wanted to procreate. Keep it at home, rent a movie and listen to the wails on your own. Go to Red Booth and get a movie out and sit there in your fucking living room with your eyes blown wide open and your child going next to me or next to you. Keep it out of my fucking zone. I think people should get a tax break for not having kids. I think they should too. Screaming babies were annoying enough at Yoshi's Island. Yeah, I agree. Just keep them fucking screaming ass curtain climbers out of my zone. It's your job as a parent to realize that your screaming, crying little bundle of need is not anybody's problem but yours. If it came out of your vagina or shot out the end of your penis, you're the only person that needs to worry about that screaming and crying. And if it's happening and there are other adults around trying to enjoy themselves, it's your job to get up and leave. You gave up your right to enjoy yourself like an adult when you got a screaming little bundle of need slung to your hip, and you made that decision. Nobody made that decision for you. Stay home. Parents who bring babies on planes and don't give them decongestant or child abusers, disturbing. Oh yeah, dude, it's just I'm a big advocate. I think that there should be an airline called Kinder Air. Kinder Air. And if you want to fly with a baby, you have to fly Kinder Air. Make it like a government thing, but it's a plane full of screaming children. Everybody on the plane, anybody flying on Kinder Air has to have a toddler or below. Every last one of you has to get shut up in that fucking plane with all them screaming babies. That's your cross to bear. You chose to procreate. You want to take advantage of an adult travel method? You get to go on Kinder Air, where it's just for 8 straight hours. All of you, because all of you on that plane all decided cumulatively to bring one of those little screamers into the world. Have a fun flight. Well, it's not a win-win situation for everybody, but the only loser in that situation is are the people that deserve to lose because they decided to have a child. They made that fucking decision. They decided to bring a little bundle of screaming need into the world. So they lose in this because they have to ride planes with not only their annoying child, but about a fucking 100 other ones. But hey, what are you gonna do? At least the fat guy on the plane, of which I have been pretty much every plane I've ever been on, at least the fat guy on the plane is quiet usually. He's not screaming, he's not yelling, he's not making your fucking flight any more uncomfortable, other than the fact that he's taking up half your armrest with his rolls. You know what I mean? I can put up with that. Smelly, sure, but everybody in the plane is smelly, dude. I haven't realized until recently how much bad parenting is a reality. People with so much vices and terrible personalities raising children, shitting out kids by the thousands. Oh yeah, dude. You think about it, it's kind of scary because, you know, having children is no longer something that everybody pursues because we really don't need it. You know, we live at a time now where human beings have an unquestioned dominance over the earth. So it's not like we need to constantly be pushing this population higher and higher. So a lot of people are foregoing that. But the ones that aren't are doing it despite all of that. You know what I mean? They look at the world and they go, you know what this world needs? Another me. It's like, why? Whatever, though. I mean, that's a really smart way to look at kids. You know, I alternately wanted kids as I was coming up, and when I was married, was trying for children. It didn't happen for me, and man, that's one thing that I'm really thankful for. I'm really glad that it didn't. My life would be unrecognizable if I'd have had a child or two. And now, looking at it, I can't even imagine it. You know, I'm way too selfish. I'm far too selfish with my free time, the time I get to spend with Ashley, the money I get to spend, discretionary money that I get to spend, all of that stuff all would go away with a child. Fuck that. Don't want it, don't need it. Should being able to have a child be a right? I think that child's rights need to be considered before the parents' rights to have it. So maybe it can be one of those rights that you get if you can demonstrate that you have the maturity and responsibility to do it correctly. What about the idea of lifeblood or family bloodlines? Who cares? What does that have to do with a child suffering its entire fucking life? Isn't the fact that you don't want a kid, even though you can't have a kid, sour grapes? I can still have children. I could still, adopt a child. There are ways around normal fertilization in which I could have my own child if I wanted. I mean, there are options on the table for me. The only thing I can't do is, you know what I mean, like straight up naturally procreate. In vitro fertilization is totally doable for me. There are several other little fertility methods that could get around my mostly useless sperm. If everyone had caring parents, people would have no hardship and in turn no character. Paul, aren't you the result of a divorce? Yes, I'm the result of a divorce. I don't think that character necessitates having shitty parents. I think that people with good parents can be raised to have character too. In fact, raising a child to have character by example, I think, is the easiest way to ensure that a child has character. You know, a good parent showing a child how to live a life of character is, I think, way more apt to turn out a child with character than a shitty parent. I think shitty parents that ignore their children, that don't treat their children right, are way more apt to turn out a felon than anything else. That's not character, by the way, growing up to be a felon. What's your opinion on genetically engineered babies? I don't really have one. What the fuck is character anyway? It's one of those words that it's not super easy to define. For me, character comes from being a person that stands by their decisions, a person that is willing to put themselves out there, a person that's willing to admit when they're wrong. All of these things are aspects of character. A person who feels a need to be truthful about things. A person who feels the need to do a good job when they've been assigned it, even if they could get away with slacking. Those types of things are character. They're all aspects of a person's character. You couldn't prohibit having kids anyway. It's hardly something that can be controlled. I don't agree. I mean, look at the amount that we can control a woman's menstrual cycle now, control the release of eggs, control the shedding of the lining of the uterus, just with drugs. So you're telling me that we could not control the fertility of a person until they've demonstrated that they have the character to be a parent? I think you could. People fuck, they get pregnant and hide it. They don't have a license. What are you gonna do? Force them to have an abortion? No. No, I'm not a fan of the state forcing that child to have an abortion. I am a fan of the state, though, imposing some rules and regulations on that person's life should they shit out a child without a license. You know, forced budgetary influence, like the government can come in and tell you what to spend your money on to make sure that you're working and that most of that money is going where it needs to go, to that child. If you continue on after having an unlicensed child, raising that child incorrectly, then that child is taken from you and put in an orphanage or replaced by the state in a foster family, so that they don't have to deal with constant hunger and abuse. I think that everybody that has a child, if there's any insinuation at all that that child might be suffering, should have that child taken away from them. There's absolutely no fucking way that you should have a kid if you don't have the money to raise a kid. Period. How is that a solution? Well, it makes sure that children aren't being raised by drug addicted piece of shit parents, doesn't it? So you're an authoritarian? Absolutely, when it comes to children, and a lot of other things too. I look at the world and I see a world filled with people who can't be trusted to procreate on their own because they don't respect the responsibility that comes with raising a child. So absolutely, I'm authoritarian when it comes to people that can't speak for themselves, literally don't have the developed brain to make good decisions for themselves. You're damn right I'm authoritarian. Absolutely. I don't think parents should be allowed, I don't think it's a parent's right to fuck up a child. Sorry. Procreation is a right. Okay. Well, I respectfully disagree. I mean, I hate to tell you this, but your disagreement doesn't mean much when all you're doing is stating it. You disagree because that would be a helpful statement. I respectfully disagree tells me absolutely nothing. We'd be outbred in that scenario. We, who's we? There are no rights except those given by man to man. Yes, well, that is true. Right, I wouldn't want my son raised with me, especially since I was only 6 years old, but abuse is the muse in my case. Whoa, what the fuck? Uh, what would be the rules for bringing them out in public? I mean, there would just be places that are no baby zones. How hard is that? Movie theaters where babies cannot be expected to just sit quietly. No babies. Sorry, no babies. You want to bring your baby to a movie showing? Maybe they have a showing every day or something that's like the baby showing. And you get to sit in a theater, once again, filled with other people that have screaming babies and see if you can enjoy it. Otherwise, you can sit at home or find a babysitter and come and go to the movies with the adults. Yeah? Stuff like that. Imagine caring if the people with the same level of melatonin in their skin were outbred. I don't know. I don't even know how to care about that shit. Maybe a sectioned off portion of the theater for people with babies. That doesn't work because a crying baby in the back corner of the theater is going to ruin the movie for everybody else in the fucking theater. I'm talking about having showings. Having showings, yeah, matinees for baby havers. You want to come see an adult movie, but you got a bundle of screaming need? Well, join a bunch of other parents in the screaming baby matinee. See if you can enjoy that. It'll give you a good taste of why you need to leave your baby at home. Because you're not going to get to watch anything. You see what I mean? You got to teach people. If people think that other people are the only ones that are really being put out, there's a lot of people out there that'll do it over and over no matter what. They don't give a shit about you. They don't give a shit about you going to a nice restaurant to blow off some steam. They don't give a shit about the week that you had and the need that you have to get away from all the hustle and bustle of life, all the screaming and yelling and shit, and just have a nice night. They don't give a shit about that. They don't think about that at all. All they care about is, well, I want to go get some food, bundle up the screamer. Fuck them. Those people need to be subjected to their own rudeness. They need to be piled into rooms filled with people that have screaming children just like them, so that they can't enjoy a fucking thing, so that they're surrounded by the cacophony that they bring into everybody else's lives. And then at that point, they might make the connection. But even if they don't, they're suffering the slings and arrows of their own decisions. You decided to have that kid. Now guess what? You don't get to take the screaming little piece of shit into businesses that require quiet. Sorry, no babies allowed. Turn around. There's a Chuck E. Cheese right down the road, though. This restaurant, we don't like screaming children. Chuck E. Cheese right down the road. Have fun. There's a Burger King, too, right on the corner. I think you can see it, and I think there's a play place in there. You can cut your screamers loose and let them run around on the jungle gym in the Burger King. But this is not a restaurant with screaming children in it. Sorry, turn around. See ya. That's what's needed in this society, because the other end of the spectrum is that people can continuously insert their lives into your own. When I go out quietly to the theater, my life and the problems that come with my life, the issues that I deal with, those issues are not poured out into other people's lives. I don't come to the theater and sit there and grumble about how fucking depressed I am so everybody can audibly hear it. People don't know if I'm depressed. People don't know anything about me, what I do for a living, how bad my week was, because I'm there to quietly and sit and watch a movie. That's what I bring to the movie theater, my quiet attention. You know what a parent brings to a movie theater with a bundle of screams? All their problems for everybody else to deal with. My life is filled with screaming baby, and now for the next 2 hours, so is yours, and that's fair? Fuck you. Separate but equal? No, I don't even care if it's equal. Separate facilities for people with screaming babies? Absolutely. I don't even care if they're equal. You made a bad decision in your life. You made a decision to have a screaming bundle of need. Keep it at home. Enjoy the next 18 to 22 years of your life. Keep it out of my face. In Montana, if you have a screaming child, you're going to stop that kid from screaming or someone else is. Wow, Montana, dude. I didn't know Montana was that fucking crazy. Being a parent is a choice. Discrimination based on physical characteristics is bad because there's no choice there. That's a good point. Yeah, the separate but equal argument kind of falls apart there. What about the saying it takes a village to raise a child? Just playing devil's advocate. Well, I'm not part of their village. That discussion is about friends and family. All right? And I'm the same way with, like, if I've got a friend that's got a kid, I'm protective of the kid. I look out for it when it's around, when I'm hanging around and the kid's toddling around. You know what I mean? I'm fine with that. It takes a village to raise a child shit. But I'm not part of everybody's village. See, a village is a small collection of people, not everybody in the world. So what I'm talking about is people with screaming babies trying to treat everybody like we're all part of the same village. No, it takes a village to raise a child. A village is a relatively small group of people. Your friends, your family, your extended family, that's the village. Maybe a neighbor that you're really close with or something, that's the village. The movie theater is not the village, nor are we doing anything to raise your child by turning around and going shh a bunch of times. Dumbass people. Stupid ass fucking people. Sick of it. Kids should be shot on sight if they make any noise. There you go. There you go. There's an endless options to watch movies at home with your kids anyway. Yeah, and the only one that has to deal with the constant interruption of your screaming little pile of fucking need and want is you. That sounds fair to me. Let's see. I made this decision to birth this thing that can't take care of itself, that screams 20 hours a day. Maybe I should be the one that suffers the most for that decision and not everybody else around me. I don't know. I don't know, man. Do you think maybe learning to behave yourself in public is part of growing up? Sure, there are certain places where you got to take your kids. You know, you can't get a babysitter for everything. So you take your kid to the fucking store. You know what I mean? You take them grocery shopping with you. And when you do that and they act out in public, you know what my mom used to do? If she took me grocery shopping and I acted out in public, she would grab me by the hand, go up to the front with her cart and say, "Can I leave this here for a moment?" And the people would say, "Absolutely." And then she'd take my screaming little ass out to the car and sit me down and explain how I needed to behave myself. And that if I didn't behave myself, I wasn't going to get to go back in and help her finish shopping. She didn't just let me sit there and scream my way down the aisle. She actually taught me a lesson about how to conduct myself in public. That it wasn't okay to be screaming and yelling when you're around other people. And she explained it to me as a toddler. Other people in there don't want to hear your loud noise. Other people in there don't want to hear your loud voice. They're all just shopping like we are. And you're acting like a little baby right now. And nobody wants to be around a screaming little baby. So if you want to help mom keep shopping, you can come back inside and be quiet and respectful. If not, we can just sit out here in the car and you can scream all you want in the car and get nothing. And you know what? Enough of those happened and I learned, you know what? Maybe I shouldn't scream in public. Maybe I shouldn't act like a little asshole in public. And I learned. That's how you actually help your child build character. Shocker. That's absolutely true. Some adults still need that lesson. You ain't kidding. Hit them until they comply. I got spanked too. I mean, that might not have been an aspect of my upbringing that was positive, but whatever. I turned out to be a person that thinks about other people when I'm in public. You know, I try not be a burden around, to the other people that are trying to have a good time around me. So. Contemplating genocide? Nah, man. Nah, buddy. My mom just came in the room, looked at the monitor, and said, "Ooh, what an ugly guy." Oh. Well, tell your mom I don't want nothing to do with her old dried up vagina anyway. Tell her old leather wallet of a pussy is not all that attractive to me either. Go ahead, go tell her now. Bring her back in here. Bring her back in here and let her hear that. You talk shit, you get shit talked back. Bring her back in here. Let's have her find out. Let's bring her in here. Bring her in here and send, like, DM me a picture of her and let's all go over your mom's looks. See what that old wrinkly bitch looks like. She likes to talk shit about people she doesn't know. Bring her in here. Bring her in here and give me a picture of her. Let's see how she feels. Let's see how it feels to her. Have somebody she doesn't know talk about how fucking ugly and nasty and dried up she is. Bring her in here. She's one of those people that likes to walk in and talk shit about people that she thinks can't hear her. Bring her in here. Let her know that I heard her this time. I got a few things I'd like to say about her and her dried up old plumbing. Bring it in here. She's not making herself a public figure. She just did. Her son just gave a public statement to a group of people that she made. Bring her in here. Where's she at? Where's your mama? Where's that old fucking spinster at? Where's Captain Cobweb Vag when I need her? Bring her old ugly ass in here. My mom's 71-year-old mom said you were sexy as hell. Hey, that's what I'm talking about. I bet that's a good-looking old lady right there. I bet she's 71, but she looks like 50. You know what I mean? Can you bring my mom in here and you can talk to her if you want? I mean, I don't know nothing about your mom, but I'll talk to anybody's mom. I don't give a shit. I is what I is. My mom is 63, but she looks 70. She's a smoker. That'll happen to smokers. People that smoke their whole lives always look about 10 years older than they really are. My mom is 50, looking 49. Whoa, now that's a hot ma. She's 50, but she looks 49, dude. Guys are getting me all worked up talking about your moms. Getting the blood pumping, you know what I mean? Hey, that's a cool one. Let's do this for a while. The documentary view. Finna nut. Yep. You know how it is. I, Lamau. Finna nut. Finna bust some nut. Paul's got pretty eyes. I've heard that my whole life. I'd trade him for better looks all around, you know? Normal eyes, but better looks. Eyes don't really do much for me. What you got? You want to go inside? You hot? You want to drink? Is you a thirsty boy? Are you a thirsty boy? A smoking hot bod and a face with the ugliest eyes ever. Yeah, dude. Just like piggy little normal eyes, but everywhere else I'm just a supermodel, you know? I'd be fine with that. I'd be fine with that. I'd let that happen. How am I doing today? Everything all right? I'm okay. Yeah, I'm okay. No hangover. Got blitzed last night. No hangover because I'm smart. Drank 2 bottles of water before I went to bed. Everything's gravy. I would wear my sunglasses out here. That would help the headache that I've got brewing. But I live in a place where immediately after I put my sunglasses on, they are fogged up due to the just constantly ridiculous humidity. So this will work for about, I don't know, maybe a minute, and then I'll be looking through a haze of bullshit. Remember hundreds of rap songs mentioning Trump in a positive way? Now you're not hood if you like Trump. That's the way this shit goes, man. Would you vote for a purely transhumanist party? It depends on the platform of that party, but the answer is probably not. If I meet you, can I get a hug? Sure, I'm a hugger. I give hugs to anybody who wants them. I'll hug anybody. I don't give a shit. I'm a hugger. I like the hug. I think it's a disarming human interaction to hug a person. You know what I mean? I like that type of shit. Yeah, even you. Even your big, nasty, sweaty, Gouda cheese smelling ass. I'll give you a hug. It don't cost me nothing. Oh, I do give amazing hugs. I've been told that being hugged by me feels like going home to see your parents after a long time of not seeing them, and that first hug that you get. I've been told that it feels like everything is safe when you're in my arms, dude. I've got great hugs. I give big, open, accepting hugs. There's nothing creepy or lingering about them. It's just a genuine expression of human emotion from one person to the next, man. I give a good hug. And I smell good, too. That's another thing. You know, a lot of people look at me and they think, you know, fat guy probably smells bad, but I don't. I smell real good. I wear cologne, you know, I wear deodorant every day. My clothes are always clean, and my beard. If you're a hugger and your face is anywhere near the beard, oh man, dude, you get a nice nose full of woodsy, earthy. It's like hugging the world. You know what I mean? The earth, Mother Earth. That's me, you know. That's the type of hug that I go for. That's what I'm shooting for, personally. Paul bragging about his amazing hugs and great smell. Look, dude, I don't brag about things that I don't got. And one of the things that I do have is I smell really good and I give good hugs, you know? Like, I don't consider that bragging. It's just being honest about my talents, you know? Think of being between 2 beards of Paul's caliber. Whoa. I mean, only if I only slip the finger in if I feel like the person in the hug is receptive. You know, I can tell somebody that wants a finger slipped in. And if that's the way it is, then that's the way it is, you know. That's what they get. I slip them the finger. And it just helps. It helps the hug, you know. It helps the hug. It brings the hug for people that want the finger. It brings the hug to the next level. You can slip a finger in, I don't mind. See, there's one right there. And I guarantee you, if we hugged, you wouldn't even have to tell me that. It would just radiate off of you, and I'd just slip a finger in. You know what I mean? Just one salty little exploratory finger, just whoop, and you're just like, oh, this is a good hug. He wasn't lying. I'd rather you don't slip the finger in. Well, I'd get that off of you. You know what I mean? If you hugged me, I would get that you're a guy that just wants the chest to chest. You know, you don't want the finger. I can tell. Trust me. I'm a good hugger, I told you. Tailor make the hug to what the person getting the hug needs. And there are people out there that need the finger. It's one dirty finger. I mean, I go wash it off at the end. I don't walk around giving everybody the same stink finger, you know what I mean? I keep some antibacterial wipes in my pocket, you know? Put a condom on the finger. If that's the way you want it, hey, I'll do it, you know? I respect people's desire for safety. But I can tell you, this finger's clean, you know? My brother used to stick his finger in his ass and then put it in my mouth when I wasn't paying attention. Dude, what the fuck, man? That's no good. That's no bueno. Jamie Lannister liked to finger in the bum now and again, did he? I mean, I could see it. What if we want the fist? I mean, I'll feel that coming off of you too. Most of you don't want the fist, though. Even the ones of you in here saying that you want the fist, you don't. I can tell that, too. I call dibs on first hug before you get gooted next meetup. Okay, cool. Cool beans, you got it. First hug to you. Well, I've been doing this for about an hour. Seems like a good time as any to let this be done. So thank you guys for chilling, as always, and I'll see you next time.